Ta-dum. Oh. Where am I? Oh, it figures. Oh, hello there. I didn't see you. My name is Soap, and welcome to our Pokemon Dungeons and Dragons Homebrew adventure, brought to you by me. And I realize that I can't put my head there because that's where my thingamadoo is. Hey, everybody, what's going on? We are here tonight to continue our Pokemon D&D homebrew discussion, rules, etc., whatnot that we did, what was it, like 2 weeks ago now? I have been working on this most of the time that I am not with my family or working my normal job, which has put a severe dent in my nuzlocking. But my last like 3 Nuzlocke videos haven't done that great. So maybe this pivot's good in the long run. We'll find out. Let's take a look and see who's here. Kim, what's going on? Mabe, CL, what up, what up, what up? Bucket, what's up, my friend? Yeah, Kim, you Twisted Creations. What's going on, bud? Thank you, everybody, so much for coming in and hanging out with me for a little while. So yeah, so I spent the last 2 weeks since our last discussion spamming everybody in the Discord, my random thoughts, getting some more Pokemon commissioned, and trying to figure out stat spreads for Pokemon. I know that my ultimate goal is to come up with these homebrew rules, make it Etheria. They're not Pokemon, they're, I don't know, Aetherkin or Magic Beasts or whatever other word we would use. But I want to test these rules with actual Pokemon. So I've been coming up with stat conversions for the first 2 generations of Pokemon, so that way we can do I can stream a campaign or something like that. Get some buy-in. Have people know that it's a thing that can work. No, Kim. Members only. There's like 4 members. There's like 4 members, my guy. Anybody can be on the Discord. So, see, I feel like I don't plan these. Link sure doesn't happen. I mean, it's literally in the description of this video. But I mean, I can pull up. I can get a new one right now. Invite people. Copied. It's the only place you can. You're right. It's the only place you can milk post for free. But you can milk post here on YouTube if you become a member. Also, if you become a member on the YouTube, I don't like shilling myself because it feels weird because this isn't my like job. But literally getting this art commission costs a lot of money. So if you want to see all of the, if you want to see my region be complete, then a couple of these videos either got to start going viral, or I'm gonna need some help. So if you got $5, toss it on over. If you don't, then watch the video like 11,000 times. And then that'll be good too. Or just share it, post it places. Put it on, if you're on different Reddits and Discord groups and stuff like that, they're like Pokemon art or D&D projects, then, share it. Because I'm not good at internet, so I need people who can be good at internet to help me out with that. But anyways, I should have thought about what I wanted to talk about, because I was really excited to talk about what I've done. But, oh no, my daughter's little fishy toy. Don't play with it. But I don't really know like what to do. So I guess first thing I'll do is I'll talk about the changes that I made to the Arcanist class. Because when we talked a couple of weeks ago, yes, Mabe, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. We talked about how there wasn't a lot of. I basically made a tank, a healer, and a tank, a healer, a DPS, and a like mage. But there wasn't a lot of differentiation. There wasn't a lot of what makes the person the person. Like the trainer's not partaking in the battle, so what are they doing? Why are they there? You're just, it's less it's less engaging for the trainer. And my logic was, well, yeah, but the trainer's doing the role playing. The trainer is the one that's like swindling towns out of out of money, or like, doing all sorts of fun heists and whatnot. The Pokemon are there to fight. Pokemon are there to be your gear, and that's not a wrong way of looking at it. But I didn't think it was super good. Also, like, so it was starting off with the Arcanist again. So eight, you get an 8 for your hit die, Constitution modifier, whatever. The only skill you get is animal handling. Equipment, you get your equipment. We already talked about the Pokedex and the Focus Stone and the Arc and all that fun stuff. Some stuff that we figured last time, which I think works out super well. To recall a Pokemon, you need to be within 15 feet of it. So you gotta get in the. Can everybody see this? Actually, I don't even flarkin' know. I should look. Let me look. So you got to get close. You got to get up in there and do the stuff. Oh yeah, you can see. You can see it real good. You can see it real good. So you got to get up in the mix, which is obviously gonna put you in danger. So I thought that was a good thing. Also, you can't just swap out when a Pokemon faints. It has to be stabilized. So whether that is spraying a potion on it, getting up there, a trainer getting up there and using the help action to pick it up like you would in like Baldur's Gate, something like that. You need to stabilize the Pokemon before you can swap it out. Stuff like that I think is a good way to make sure that the number one, the Arcanist has to be in the fight, even though they're not fighting. And they, the fact that you have additional Pokemon to switch in and out, it makes it a little bit more difficult. You can't just like automatically. It's going to incentivize you to swap out before Pokemon fans. Did you hear about the new? Yes, I did see the new Pokemon coming. I'm really excited. Hold on here, because I know they announced more. I saw Carbink was like today. Hold up here. Hold up. Pause the D&D. This is more important for two. I am really excited for all the Kuma-Os. I think that'll be really cool design-wise to get our little Kung Fu guys in there. I've always been a fan of Lurantis, so I'm super excited about Lurantis. I like Carbink. I think just adding crystals and stuff will be neat for fusions. Like Carbink isn't my favorite Pokemon in the world, but I think it'll be really cool for fusions. Like Steelix gets a lot of really cool fusions, and Aggron, just because they have unique features as part of their design. So I think that the Carbink will make some really, really good stuff. Super into it. But yeah, so there's that. And then I got some rules for the Pokemon. But Bond and Companion, we already talked about all this. Your AC is equal to the Pokemon that you have out on the field. So once again, they gotta. Have they added Skitty yet? No. Skitty was on the list though, and I voted for Skitty. I did a big resounding yes for Skitty, Mabe. Don't worry. But then, so because there's no fighting styles, I thought this would be neat. So, additionally, when you capture a new Pokemon, you can add +1 to its attack rolls, its spell rolls / save DC or AC. So even though there aren't fighting styles for you to choose from, you can either enhance your defense, your attack, or your spell save DC. I thought that would be a nice little trade-off, since you're not going to be getting those bonuses from choosing different fighting styles and things like that. And I completely revamped every single one of these. So I still have Battle Mage. It's still the Fighty Fight Boy one. But, so you get the equivalent of using a shield right away. You still get Action Surge. I thought that was an important way of differentiating a Pokemon that is mostly just going to hit things, as opposed to spamming, Fireball or Flamethrower or whatever. Arcane Smite. I got rid of the maneuvers because I thought that was too complicated, because Pokemon are already going to have like 10 moves. So I don't want it to be unnecessarily confusing. So you just get Smite. So 2d8 force damage. That's going to do a buttload of damage at the beginning of the game, but it should scale pretty well. Because if you're going to be relying on only your physical attacks and physical spells, there aren't going to be as many of those. So I think even a fighter, a melee-based Pokemon is either going to have to pick up some traditional spells, or some, buffing or debuffing or control spells. So this will be a way that you can scale up something like Fire Fang to still do a good amount of damage when everybody else is starting to throw out lightning bolts and fireballs and stuff. So I thought that'd be good. And then, yeah, you get extra attack because you're a fighter. And then you get more extra attacks because you are a fighter. And then bond strengths, you can add your strength or dexterity to your Pokemon's physical attack damage rolls. So just a nice little boost there. And then I renamed everything to not be Pokemon names, so that way I wouldn't have to do this later when it's not Pokemon. So you give everybody in a 60-foot radius an additional action. So you give haste. So you can either attack or dash. So yeah, so you give everybody another attack action or another dash action within 60 feet. So you can use this number of times for your charisma modifier, your Pokemon's charisma modifier, and your Pokemon's charisma is dependent on how powerful your Pokemon is. I'll get to that later. But that's what I got for the Fighty Fight Boy. Jacob, it's a game we're making. We're making the game. So the D&D Pokemon that I've been making, I want to make homebrew rules for a trainer class, and I want to stream a D&D game with those rules. Just to be like transparent about it, you know, my Nuzlockes have been getting progressively fewer and fewer views. So this is something that I personally really like. Like most of what I watch online are my mother-in-law's calling me. Hold on, it's got to be about my daughter. Hold on. Hey, Kelly. I knew that was going to happen. Hold on. Two things. My in-laws took my car. They're watching the baby. She went to their house for the day. They took my car, so they wouldn't have to install their car seat. Totally fine. And my wife and I were like, they're going to mess up the car seat. And we're like, no, you're not going to mess up the car seat. She's had this car seat for like 2 years. They got this. They did not have it. They messed up the car seat. They don't know how to loosen it. And I explained it step by step. You just follow the little strap, you flick it up, you pull. And they can't figure out what slit I'm talking about. There's only one slit in the car seat. So they'll figure it out. If they don't, they'll call me back and I'll find a YouTube video to send them. But anywho, so yes. So my Nuzlocke videos I'm loving playing all these different games, but they're not doing as well as they were. And what I consume a lot on the internet is a lot of like Fakemon, like regional Dex stuff, especially on like Instagram and like TikTok and stuff like that. And then D&D videos. So it's like, all right, well, I want to make a region. I wanted to make a region like a year and a half ago. Now I have a little bit of an audience. Let's get some Pokemon made. And then I made that Pokemon, that first video 2 or 3 weeks ago. And I got a lot of comments asking about when a homebrew was going to come out. So I was like, oh, you know what? I can make some homebrew rules for a Pokemon trainer. I can play it because I want to play D&D. And we can do it this way. So I've spent like the last month trying to make homebrew rules for a monster tamer in general, and then converting the stats of Pokemon into D&D stats. That way we can test it out. And, you know, I mean, I don't think I'm going to be having one of these $1 million Kickstarters or whatever, but if people think the rules are neat and they want to watch me play, then great. Then that's amazing, and I'm totally into that. Yes, Jacob, I mean Dungeons and Dragons. So this is and I know that there's like Pokemon Tabletop United and Poke Roll, like there are Pokemon tabletop games out there, but I know how to play D&D. I want to try to adapt a monster taming class into D&D. So that's what I want to try to do. 6 years now, we found they had a lot of mistakes and really unbalanced. We're remaking it from the scale. See, and that's the thing too. It's like I tried to read the PTU and the PTA like rule books, and there's just like a lot. There's like so much stuff, and I'm just like, it doesn't need to be this complicated. You throw the monster out, and then you attack. So that's why I'm trying to build it into the skeleton of D&D, because it's like Pathfinder's an offshoot of, you know, 3rd edition or 3.5 or whatever. Maybe you know better than me, but like that has a lot of really cool rules, but it's very complicated because it's based off of something that hasn't been refined. I feel like 5e is, number one, it's the most popular tabletop role-playing system, but it's also a lot. There are easier ones, but I think as far as like a D20 super immersive, like social / fighting game, I think the 5e has a lot going for it. So that's why I want to adapt it into 5e. Plus, like I said, I know how to play it. But yeah, so I ended up making 7 subclasses for the Pokemon trainer. So, you know, like I'm calling this the battle mage as far as like Etheria is concerned, but this would be like an ace trainer. It's a fighter. It's a mix of a fighter and a paladin. ICRPG is D&D 5e Lite. Ooh, I'm going to take a look at that, Pucker. Thank you. And then I made the Potioneer. So, you know, this is like a combination of like cleric and the alchemist artificer. So at second level, you get exceptional elixir. So you get literally the roll a d6, get a thing. Recovery. Oh, the only difference is I got rid of the sixth level one to basically become an ether. I think the hardest part of translating it into D&D would be move damage calculation. So my plan is to try and I'll get into damage in a little while, but I'm gonna try to reskin, I think mostly existing D&D spells. I think the biggest hurdle is gonna be, obviously there's a lot of creating physical attacks. So that's gonna need a lot of balancing stuff. What about a cooking chart? So that sort of stuff is stuff that I want to do, but I'm looking like bare bone stuff right now. I just want to be able to get in there and start testing the basic stuff that, like, you know, am I creating something fun, or is this dumb and bad? Yeah, no, I definitely want to have, you know, I want there to be a use for all of the adventurers' tools and stuff like that. So, like, you know, like the cooking sets and the brewing sets and alchemy and you know, honestly, most of the time, other than thieves' tools, like, is that stuff really getting used? Unless you're an artificer and you physically need them to perform your tasks. So I want there to be a reason for those things. So yeah, like cooking sandwiches or you know, if you have a long rest with so and so type of person in your party, you can do X, Y, or Z. But yeah, I want to focus on like getting the classes done, getting the combat in a way that makes sense, making spells or adjusting spells to make sense for Pokemon, and then go from there. You know, and that's the kind of thing I think that, like, once again, if I stream this and people like it and it becomes a whatever, like some kind of successful project, then that's when I can get other people to help me make those things, because I don't freaking know. Like, I don't know. Um, did they figure it out? Well, that was my wife, so I don't know. But yeah, so basically the Potioneer, um, you get what's it called? You get lay on hands. So cool. You get lay on hands. You can make these potions. Isn't that super neat? You can also add your wisdom modifier to all healing sources that are coming from you. So a potion used by a Potioneer or something like that is going to be more effective because they know how to optimize those medicine type of things. So this is our nurse, our doctor. You know, this is our alchemist type of person, mixed specialist. So as opposed to getting second attack, it's more like war magic with an Eldritch Knight. So after casting a cantrip or a spell, you can cast another cantrip or perform an attack. So mixed attacker. So like I said, it's more like the Eldritch Knights kind of thing. You can add your wisdom modifier to your Pokemon's damage rolls, and then Serene Grace. So at 15th level as a bonus action, you can drink this draught that will last for a minute. The Potioneer's Pokemon gains +5 to all attack rolls, whether it's physical or magical, and an additional 1d8 radiant damage. Additionally, this restores 5 hits to the Pokemon or an ally within 30 feet. So you just go into, heal mode. You go into heal mode, you smack somebody better, and you can heal somebody nearby. So it's not an overly damaging subclass. You are support. You're providing support, but you still do damage. So like you're not going to like a cleric. A cleric can whip on spirit guardians and run around and destroy the entire battlefield. But that's not what they're best at. So you can still smack people around, or your Pokemon can still smack people around, but you are providing, additional support. So I thought it was a neat thing. I made Kid Detective and had since, dude, man, there's so many rules in that game. Forge your own Pokeballs. Definitely got to have somebody who can create it. So I have charisma for the rogue one. So basically for all of the different subclasses, they can each use a different one of their skills. Actually, Illusionist. I forgot I made it. Was it Illusionist or Enchanter? One of them uses charisma. 1000%. So I mean, Ember would just be Fireball, maybe. I mean, I think something like Burning Hands would maybe be. Is Incinerate the one that which is the one that does like a tiny bit of splash damage? So Fire Punch would be something. So Fire Punch would be like with green Flame Blade. It's like you make a melee attack and it does blank. So that would just be a better version of Green Flame Blade, which would be a leveled spell as opposed to being a cantrip. So it would probably do the equivalent of a level 5 or a level 9 Green Flame Blade, but it would be a level 1 or 2, spell slot, something like that. Flame Burst, yes, thank you, Maeve. Is Heat Wave like Heat Wave is Fireball, or either that or Fire Blast, one of the two, yeah. So it's like, I'm just trying to mix these spells up in a way where I can reflavor them, but they still make sense because they're already balanced for this game. Something like True Strike, like Leer or Growl could be True Strike. You're giving yourself advantage on the next attack, so I guess it's like Leer. You shoot them a dirty look and they're scared, so now you have advantage. Something like that. Are you ever going to use it in a D&D battle? No, because True Strike is terrible. But if you want to, it's there and it exists. So stuff like that I thought would be super cool. Incinerate does hit both targets in a double battle. Okay, cool. Well, it's all of them. But that, the Invoker. The Invoker is a combination of what's it called? Sorcerer and Evocation Wizard. So you get spell sculpting, Arcane Battery. Your bond with your Pokemon makes your spells more effective. Add 1d6 to their spell attack damage rolls. So I know this is fairly early, but this is very similar to like the enhanced wand, the enhanced gun thing that artificers get. So Quicken Spell. After casting a cantrip, you can do another cantrip as a bonus action. So you get Quicken Spell. Cool. Then potent spell casting, you can add your intelligence modifier to your spell damage rolls, and then hyper beam. So you just automatically roll max damage on an evocation spell. So you shoot out a fireball, max damage automatically. No saving throw, no nothing. You just murder. No, no, no. Well, no, I need all this stuff. But because I know last time I wasn't giving enough identity to the classes, so I want to make sure that it makes more sense now. So now we got our hiker, is our traveler. I demand a bird tamer class. I mean, this is going to be kind of it, Kim. Just look for it. So this one is a mix of ranger and barbarian, which it seems like a very odd thing, but I thought that a hiker is already kind of that anyways. So boom. So energy absorption. So your knowledge of the environment allows you to adapt to any environment. This knowledge extends to your Pokemon. At second level, your Pokemon can cast absorb elements a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus. I thought it's just a neat little thing to have for free. I thought that would be a neat thing. So harvest, at second level, you can forage up to 10 berries per long rest. These berries heal 1d4 of damage and can be consumed as a bonus action. So my idea behind this was when you're downed, you can still eat the berry. Berries expire the following day for a long rest. So if you do get down, but you have a hiker in your party and he's given your Pokemon's holding a berry or whatever, then they can pick themselves back up if they get knocked out. At 8th levels, these go up to, it goes from an orange berry to a citrus berry, basically. Aether Sight, once again, this is our bird tamer thing right here for you. You can cast Beast Sense as a ritual. So this is so the way that I flavored it as far as Pokemon goes, like hiker, bird keeper, and then also some of the aura stuff for Lucario. You get extra attack, and then you get rage. So it's barbarian rage, and this was kind of like aura related stuff. You understand how your Pokemon's you understand your Pokemon's instincts. Oof, I didn't proofread any of this. Your bond with them allows you to push beyond your natural limit. On 7th level, they enter an enhanced state for 1 minute unless you are knocked unconscious or go a turn without attempting to attack of some kind. It's bear. It's bear rage, so you are resistant to all damage except for psychic damage. This overrides your Pokemon's natural weaknesses. Your Constitution bonus is also added to your attack and damage rolls. So instead of being Strength, it's Constitution because they are exploring. They need stamina, so I thought Constitution would be their stat. This feature can be used a number of times equal to per day for your Constitution modifier. And then this is something that the trainer has to do because I figure, once again, I was thinking about what Maeve and Beck said about the trainer needing to do something. So this is our Aura Master. So this is a Lucario boy. This is Riley right here. As a traveler, you have journeyed far and wide. You formed an unbreakable bond with your Pokemon and learned to harness a deep mystical energy known as Aura. On 18th level, you and your Pokemon gain advantage on perception checks. I just wanted to give you Observant for free. I thought that'd be a neat thing to do. Your Pokemon, it's supposed to be the trainer, not the Pokemon. I gotta rewrite that. Release a pulse of aura energy in a 30-foot radius. Every enemy must make a wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, the enemy takes 4d10 psychic damage and is stunned until their next turn. So, not an insane amount of damage, but if you're raging, you're gonna be in the thick of it anyways. Your Constitution modifier is the one that you're using to enhance your attacks with. So that is going to be, you're going to be jacking that up with ASIs, presumably. Or you're just going to be using tanky Pokemon in general. You get in there with a Shuckle, and the only way to translate its insane defense statistics into D&D is by maxing out its Constitution. So you get in there with your Shuckle, and you just unleash absolute hell on these folks. Stunning everything, so I think that stunning is a huge problem in D&D. That's a full turn of action economy that just goes bye-bye. So that's very powerful. At least I think it is. We'll find out. I think it's powerful. But yeah, so that's the Barbarian. That's the Barbarian. This one might be my favorite class that I've made because I like Beast Sight. I like Beast Sense. I like that I can find familiar with my Pokemon, as their ritual spells. Where are we? As their ritual spells, they can speak with animals, so they can talk to their Pokemon. They can end and up with their Pokemon. So I think that this will also be really good for. I gave everybody 2 cantrips and 2 ritual spells because they're all technically. Mages, at least in Etheria, and I can translate this into Pokemon, however I, whatever. They're just good at that thing. So, speak with animals. You can talk to you can talk to your Pokemon. You can talk to wild Pokemon. You can talk to other people's Pokemon. Druidcraft is, Druidcraft's whatever. Light is useful, since I'm pretty sure everybody's gonna be human, and therefore you can't see. I mean, you can be whatever you want as D&D, but I'm setting it up that everybody, at least in my mind, is human because it's a Pokemon game, but you can be whatever you want. So light is good because people can't see shit. People are bad at looking at stuff. But researcher, hello there and welcome back to the Oakcast. Am I making Rando a class? Well, let me tell you something. Rando is known as research. I don't know what, I mean, Rando, when I finally get to do my actual D&D campaign, I've written the first probably like 3 sessions. I've written like the first 3 sessions. So, Rando's there. I mean, Blue's there, but he's Rando. Of course he's Rando. So research, you get to detect magic and identify, mending and guidance. So guidance obviously really useful for exploratory and dialogue stuff. Everybody loves guidance. Your knowledge Pokemon biology makes your scans super effective. Second level, when you scan a Pokemon, attacks made against that target are at advantage until the researcher's next turn. So you can give your entire... So True Strike sucks because you might as well have just rolled twice. But if you can use your turn to give everybody advantage, then that's great. So I think that is a useful feature, especially if it is a... when we get to gym leaders and stuff like that, their ace Pokemon are going to have... what's the word I'm thinking of? Mabe. They're gonna have like dungeon actions or whatever the heck they're called. Elite features. I'm brain farting on what the terminology is. But so, you know, if Brock's Onyx is coming at you with the full force of 1,000 Suns, giving everybody advantage would be very useful. On third level, your Pokemon ecology assists in bolstering them in combat. You can add twice your level plus your intelligence modifier as temporary HP. So you can make your Pokemon a little bit tankier. Once again, this is like a hybrid between a spellcaster and an attacker. You're like a support. You're more of a support class. So being able to give your Pokemon a small HP buff can kind of keep them in the thick of it, even though they're not getting a lot from you martially. And then once again, you get war magic. So if you smack somebody, you can smack them again. On 6th level, you add your intelligence score to your Pokemon's damage rolls. It doesn't matter if it is a spell or a melee attack. I'm trying to keep it open since you're not getting a lot of stuff that enhances your actual abilities. No matter what kind of ability you're using, you can add that intelligence score to your Pokemon's damage rolls, period. Your relentless pursuit of knowledge has unlocked untold power in your Pokemon. At 18th level, whenever your Pokemon successfully hit an enemy that you have scanned, the Pokemon can add your intelligence modifier to the attack and damage rolls. Additionally, after a long rest, you can select a number of Pokemon equal to your intelligence modifier. These Pokemon gain resistance to 1 damage type of your choice. So this is, once again, this part is like an artificer feature. The magic armor you can give, you can enchant a piece of armor to be, resistant to a certain type of damage. And then also on here, once again, you are buffing your Pokemon indirectly. You're not getting Smite. You're not getting Sneak Attack. You're not getting any fancy flourishes, but you just get a small flat bonus to all of your attacks. And I think that is in theory, a good way to do this. Once I get to 1,000 Pokemon, you're going to consider doing fusions. I think that if people like this, after I finish all my Etherean Pokemon, or once again, Aetherkin, whatever we call them, I'm bad at coming up with names, so I use ChatGPT to try to come up with names because I'm bad. I'm very bad at it, and Aetherkin is the only good one it gave me, so I'm pretty sure it's probably going to be that. But I think I'll do other stuff. So like I wanted to make a Rhode Island region, so maybe I will. Maybe we make I don't know, another set of monsters based off of other franchises and things like that. It'd be really neat. It'd be a hell of a thing to balance. I don't know. Hopefully by then I got people. Monster manuals too. Yeah, Xanathar's guide to whatever the hell this thing's gonna be. Volo's guide to monsters. The Enchanter. So choose from 2. This is, Charm Person, Distort Value. I think these would be... I found that there was no way for the trainer to actually, charm people. So Fringe, Thaumaturgy, Charm Person, Distort Value. I thought that would be cool. So this is like our beauty class. Our beauty, our model, the guitarist. This is our bard, Not Eining and Maud. Well, yeah. Alluring Strike. After second level, the Enchanter's natural charisma is transferred to their Pokemon. When their Pokemon hits a creature with an attack and attempt to charm the creature for 1 round, the target must make a Wisdom saving throw or be charmed. This can be done a number of times per day, equal to the trainer's proficiency bonus. So this is an indirect thing. So you hit somebody, maybe you can make them friendly to you, so you can, reposition or get out of that combat or force them to switch. Something like in the real Pokemon game, attract. So, you're getting annoyed that your golem's really in love with Whitney's Clefairy. It wouldn't be a golem, be a Geodude. So they got to swap out, wasting somebody else's turn. So yeah, you get cute charm. Thank you, not attract. Kim, I'm just talking here, man. It's hard to talk, especially because I'm nervous, because this is wildly different than anything I normally do. And also, this is all coming from my brain. It's not me playing a game. This is like, I hope you guys like my ideas. Because I don't know. Then you get Bardic Inspiration, because you're a Bard. I mean, the Enchanter's a Bard. So you get Bardic Inspiration. So you get a D6, to add to somebody's scores, which is really nice. It gets bigger and better as you level up. When you cast a cantrip or spell, you can cast another cantrip or perform an attack as a bonus action. So once again, just about all of these mixed classes are getting War Magic, because it's trying to incentivize both. Bond of Strikes, your Charisma score gets added to your Pokemon's damage rolls. Once again, this is for physical and special attacks. Then Master's Influence. At 18th level, you can use your action to exude an aura of charm from yourself for 1 minute. All hostile creatures within 30 feet must succeed on a Wisdom saving throw or be charmed for you by the duration. While charmed in this way, creatures regard you as a trusted ally and cannot attack you. So this is coming from the trainer. So the beauty gets in there. She struts her stuff. All the Pokemon get horny. And the trainers. Everybody gets horny. So it's going to end the combat. Unless you continue the combat, therefore, afterwards. Yeah, that is attract. Thank you, Kim. Attack defense, try to get advantage on that type of. So that's a good idea, Bucket, but I'm also... Don't worry. When we get to this one, let me tell you right here. This took me like 2 of the 4 weeks I was doing this. Look at all this. Look at all these stats I had to do. It took so much math. And I don't like math. I'm not good at it. I'm okay at it. And then the Illusionist, a combination of... It's ninja. It's ninja. So we got the Sky Self, we got Silent Image, Minor Illusion, and Prestidigitation. So Surprise Attack is Sneak Attack. At second level, you can strike subtly, blah, 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 blah. It's Sneak Attack. So you have advantage on somebody, you smack them really hard. Either Surprise Attack or honestly I was thinking about Trick Attack, because I was thinking of Final Fantasy. So in Final Fantasy 11 you get your Sneak Attack, Trick Attack going. You gotta go and then you and it does a lot. I'm gonna change it to Trick Attack. Double time, you got your proficiency. So this is the Gloomstalker feature. So adding your proficiency bonus to your initiative roll. I'm either gonna do this or maybe your Pokemon's dexterity. Oh no, I can't do that because your Pokemon's dexterity isn't part of the thing. Shut up, Sean. Stop talking. At 5th level, you can cast Misty Step at will, leaving behind a silent image of themselves. So your Pokemon can create an illusory double. You may use your action to move that image to distract your foes before it vanishes at the end of your following turn. So, you can Misty Step away, and then now there's 2 of you. Which one's the real one? So yeah, double team. Bond of Strikes, you can add your Dex or Charisma score, depending on... Trickster might be a better name for the Illusionist. That's a good point, Mabe. And then Grand Mirage, the double can attack. That's what it is. The double can now murder. So that gives yourself, it have an initiative the same as you. It can attack. People need to succeed on an intelligence saving throw to try to identify which one it is. So, boom. So that's, I thought that this was a much better way by giving each of the specialties a couple of skills that were unique to them and a couple of spells that were unique to them. Watchbot. Yeah, you would track that message. So close to substitute. Yeah, basically. Yeah, that's a good idea. Ooh, Magic Missile of Swift is a really good idea, Bucket. But I thought that this was a really good way to give each of these classes a little bit more personality. Because I was thinking like, oh, people are gonna Watchbot, of course there's gonna be of course there's megas. Once again, if this is successful, I can't call them megas. I guess I could call them megas, but yeah, I mean, I'll show you guys the trainers. Hey, thanks, Ewok. I'll show you guys the two protagonist trainers that I had commissioned, and they have mega stones on their hands. Uberkin. But yeah, so this is what I have for the classes. A Masterkin. But then we have Pokemon stuff. So capturing a Pokemon. Last time we figured out that using the Pokemon's charisma made sense. No, absolutely. So I mean, in the Pokemon version of the game, it's Ninja, but for the Etherean version of the game, Illusionist is what I had, but that might not be the best. Yeah, so I mean, Assassin is a good one. Trickster would be a good one because Arcane Trickster is an actual class in D&D, so calling it a Trickster might be. In fact, let me just put Trickster in parentheses here so I don't forget, because I will forget. I am an Enchanter. There are some who call me Tim. So, Kim, that might be something to figure out down the line. But what I was basically doing it was the Pokemon's charisma, which I put 16 here, but no Pokemon is going to have a charisma that high. But the formula is current HP divided by max HP multiplied by their charisma modifier. So I go to throw my Pokeball at Caterpie, who has a charisma of 16 for some god-awful reason. I got it down to 10 HP out of 50. I got to roll a animal handling check equal to or greater than 13 to catch it. Well, Kim, I don't know. But you can only do it once per day. And maybe I do it for 1 round instead of 1 minute. Yeah, so the names I have down there just to have something there, but yeah, you're right. So yeah, so animal handling. No worries, Kim. But yeah, so since everybody gets animal handling proficiency by different, what team comment? Are they all bars trying to take your Pokemon? I missed that part. No, so the evil team, it was either going to be called Team Nexus or Team Apex, and the way that Etheria was set up was similar to like Netheril in D&D lore. So there was this big awesome magic empire, but humans were humaning up like crazy. So the goddess of magic took away magic and then brought it back, and magic is not as mortals are not allowed to use as powerful magic as they used to. But I took that as magic was taken away by people because Pokemon started popping up. So more and more Pokemon start popping up, less and less magic for people. So the evil team is trying to siphon magic back from Pokemon to give back to people. And the way that they do that, you'll see. So yeah, so Watchbot, the way I was going to do that is when you catch a Pokemon, you can't catch a Pokemon that's on a higher level than you, because you won't be able to bond with it. And once you bond with a Pokemon, you can immediately get it up to your level, because at the end of the day, the Pokemon are your gear. So if you catch a level 3 Weedle, but you have a level 12 Charizard on your squad, like I'm not going to, especially because a lot of campaigns use milestone XP. So I'm not going to have all different milestones for all different people. Like if people want to, once again, if this becomes popular and people want to do an XP type game and make you have to grind them up, then cool. But
the way I look at it is your Pokemon are your gear, they're your spell book, they're the thing that is combat for you. So the way that I have it set up right now, yeah, so there'd be a box. I mean, you have a bag. I mean, it's going to go into your bag of holding or whatever. So on level 1, you can have 3 Pokemon. And then that will gradually go up to the normal 6 by level 12. So, and I feel like that this is also a good way to explain why in the games themselves, you're going like up to like the Elite Four and they only got like 3-4 Pokemon. And that's because their trainer level is not high enough to have more Pokemon. So yeah, every long rest, if you have more than X number of Pokemon that you're allowed to physically have on your person, then yeah, every long rest you'd be able to swap your team out, just like you swap out your spell books. No, you're not literally equipping the monsters. Although I did see a really cool fan region where there were 4th evolutions for certain Pokemon, and they turned into giant swords people fought with. That was really neat. But that's not this. I'm just saying you treat it like your gear. Yeah, armor evolution. That could be a cool thing too, maybe. Like if they go into the astral plane, and you need to go get them by doing some sort of ritual or go into some sort of place. That could be a neat way of handling it too. Or they just go back to my lab, and you can talk to me on the computer whenever you want. But yeah, that was that. Something I added to catching the monsters, which I thought would be a decent way of having to force you to rest, and you can't just immediately like pump this thing full of potions and start playing. When you catch a Pokemon, there's 1 level of exhaustion. If the Pokemon is incredibly powerful, or the DM wishes for the sake of the narrative, this level of exhaustion may have to be removed with an additional animal handling check. So you catch Pokemon, it's gonna suck until you take a long rest. So this is going to incentivize you to really think about what you're doing. If you want to make changes to your team, stuff like that, it's not just like an automatic thing. You're not just popping by a Pokemon Center to fix everything immediately. You have to rest and recharge and put yourself in potential danger, because it's D&D. You can get attacked at night and stuff like that. Oak is the Elminster of this game. That is an excellent thing that when I eventually run my little Kanto game, you just have Professor Oak just showing up everywhere. It's like, how did you get here? Oh, don't worry about that. Do you have any cheese? I love cheese. Exodia, obliterate! Oak the Wiz. Too funny. Rando's grandson stuck in his shadow. The way, without spoiling anything, the way that the like, it's like 12 or 15 pages I have written for the first couple sessions of the Kanto game is, no, I didn't put, it doesn't matter. For the Kanto adventure that I plan on running, it's like 20 years after the original games, and because small children are the ones who keep on saving the world, there are more strict Pokemon academies that you have to go to before you can properly get your trainer's license. So like, you're not 10 and saving the world, you're like, you're a young adult or whatever. And Blue / Rando is the headmaster of this school. So the level 1, you pick your starter Pokemon, you're on level 1, you immediately have like a little mini tournament with all the graduates, so you can learn the mechanics of how to play the game, and then you'll level up and have to start doing plot stuff. But I have that first stretch of stuff basically until you get your Pokeballs all written out. So Ewok in Red and Blue, he's only 50 years old. So he's like, I say he's a young grandpa, so he'd be a young grandpa, because Red and Blue are 10 or 12 in the first games, and he's only supposed to be 50. Oak's the chosen mystery. He can't. Hello there, my name is Professor Oak. Just kidding. Oak is Withers. I would love to do that. So like Professor Oak now would be like in his 70s. So he's old, but not that old. Yeah, he does look 60. But also you got to think about it. The Golden Girls that was on in the 80s. And they're like, look at these washed up old ladies having sex and talking about funny things. They were like 55. Like they weren't even old. Like they were not old. Old people don't look old anymore, or at least not as old. Look at Tom Cruise. He's my parents' age. He's in his 60s. And that man looks like he's 50, you know? People crazy now. They people moisturize, It does a lot for you. Um But what other fun stuff here? Individual Pokemon stats. So this I have to change. I want to give Pokemon ASIs now that I've actually figured out how they work. But HP progression and stuff. So some of this stuff I need to change. Actually, all of this stuff I need to change. But this is not going to change. So this is what I wanted to look at. Every other level, starting at 2nd level, your Pokemon unlock their next level of spells up to 7th level. The number of spells that can be prepared is equal to your proficiency bonus +1. These spells can be changed out per long rest. So the way that it works is you do not have spell slots per spell level. You have PP per move. So it is if it's a 1st level move, each 1st level move, you can, like I said, it's the number of moves that you can have in your active spell book per Pokemon is your proficiency bonus +1. So that's 4. So that's 4 moves on level 1 you can have. So each 1st level move can be used 3 times, and then it goes down in order of this in this chart. So I thought that was a neat way because obviously Pokemon. So you'll have more spell slots than a person playing D&D would, especially when you stretch this across 3 to 6 different monsters that you have on your team. But this is also like, I don't think there's going to be a way to upcast because of this. But I thought it would give you a little more freedom in choosing your stuff. It also kind of works like, since you change out your spells every long rest, if you can always make it so you always have your most powerful moves, but each one of those moves is only going to be able to be used a couple of times. So, but yeah, I would love to try this game. Probably make a character use this fossil Pokemon. I mean, that could definitely be a neat thing, but I also have to figure out. So in an ideal world, there's a billion mechanics. And there's at least as many subclasses as there are regular classes in D&D and stuff. But I'm just trying to get, for now at least, like the basics down so I can try to test it and see if it's cool and fun and good. But I don't know. But I like the idea of, somebody who, a different kind of researcher, but it's focusing specifically on, extinct creatures. And yeah, so that's. But this is what I wanted to look. Is that all I have for Pokemon spell progression? Yeah. Oh, and then your proficiency bone. Yeah, spell save DC. So there are going to be physical and special spells. So like I said, something like Fire Fang would be you make a melee spell attack. So you are rolling a melee hit. So you can use your strength or dex for that if you want, or you can use your wisdom or intelligence depending on what stat spread that Pokemon has. Obviously, something like Fire Blast is only going to use wisdom and intelligence. Something like Fire Fang or Crunch is only going to use strength or dex. So that stuff, like once you summon a Shadow Blade, you're attacking with your dex with it. You're not attacking with your intelligence or your charisma, even though you are a wizard or a sorcerer. So I thought that was a decent way of doing it. But like I said, as opposed to having just flat spell slots, I wanted to make it a little bit more robust because that's how Pokemon works. So I got like this for now. If it ends up being too powerful, like being able to use each of your moves a billion times, then I'll change it. But I thought that this was an okay place to start. Oh yeah, that's the Pokemon. But this is what I got for that. And what took me a million billion years, or I guess, what does anybody have comment wise on this? Ooh, actually, my daughter's home. Hold on. I got to go say hi before they do their shower. Oh, all right. Sorry about that, everybody. No. I'm here. My bad. My daughter just got home from my mother-in-law was watching her all day, so just got home. Let's see what I messed up here. What I missed, rather. You farted. Let's see the game again. Interesting. Okay, cool. All right. Anywho, we're here. We lost a bunch of people. I'm so sorry, but I'm here, and I love you, and I appreciate each and every one of you. And math. Look at all this glorious, glorious math. Keep my appreciated, buddy. So I spent weeks figuring out. Let me see if I can find some of these other documents here. Hold on. Pokemon progression. Look at all these things. Kanto Johto stat sheet. Is this the one? Yeah. I spent a long time trying to figure out different equations and some more of these D&D region charts. Like just different stat sheets and formulas and all these things to try to figure out how to make Pokemon stats turn into D&D stats. And I ran like algorithms that would do it for me in ChatGPT, and it would turn out like these are stats that not even a level 20 character would have. This is before ASIs. So I was like, well, that's not going to work. You know, like it can't be impossible to hit these things. So I decided to do point buy based on, do I got it over here? I decided to do point buy based on the base stat total of that Pokemon. So I split everything up into different sections based on its base stat total. So 200 to 299 is low, 300 to 360 moderate. You know, y'all can see this, and how high or how many points can I put into a specific stat based on that section that it's in, and how many points it has to spend. Since you don't lose stats in D&D, the previous evolution, the evolution had to have at least equal stats in every area to its previous evolution. So I tried to automate this. It did not work. I would be like, all right, cool. You know, Bulbasaur has 27 points, Ivysaur has 34 points, Venusaur has 40 points. Can you make their stat spread for me, please? And it would be like, I've used 11 of your 27 points. Is that good? And I'd be like, no, it's not good. And they say, and they say AI is going to take everything away from us. It couldn't even do it, which is fine because in the end, and it was like, all right, cool. So then it made like 3 stats 15 and 2 8. I'm like, well, that's not good either. That's not how that works. That's not what you do with this. But anywho, additionally, their charisma level, so their capture rate was also dictated by what tier they were in. But this also takes away points away from their pool. So that way, for example, something like Raichu is going to fall into high. You know, it's technically not as powerful. It's not as powerful as a Charizard or, you know, a Venusaur or something like that. But because there's another 2 points being being used on charisma, this gives Raichu or other mid-powered Pokemon a chance to still have their 1 or 2 really good stats be equal to or almost equal to, you know, a more powerful Pokemon's good stat. And then same thing here. Like obviously a Dragonite is more powerful than a Charizard, but you have to invest 3 more points. Yeah, you have to invest 3 more of your points into your charisma automatically. So I thought that was a decent way. We'll see how it works in practice, but I thought it was a decent way to help differentiate this stuff. So I have all the stats for every Pokemon through Gen 1 and Gen 2. I don't know why I went down so low. So this is what I'm going to try to I'll keep on working on, you know, Gen 3 and beyond. But if it's a Pokemon in Gen 1 or 2 or has a later evolution, they're all here. So that's what I got for that. And then for AC, I just took their defense stat, divided it by 20, and then added 10 for, because, a player is not going to have less than 10 AC. So I just divided their defense, like I said, by 20, and that was it. Or was it 25? It might have been 25. That's 20. All right, cool. So I 20 and then rounded down. So that's that. So divided by 20, add 10, round down. So the way that I have it set up, Kim, so a Pokemon's attack stat is their strength, their speed stats, their dex, their HP is their constitution, their special attack is intellect, and their special defense is wisdom. So wisdom saving throws, things like that, that's going to go into their special defense. Because the way that armor class works in D&D is that is specifically for you getting hit by a thing that's targeting you. And obviously there are spells that target the individual. But it's, if you look at a Pokemon like Onix, for example. So Onix obviously has bonkers physical defense, but not great special defense. So if I take an average of those two stats, Onix ends up being much easier to hit with a punch than it should be. Or even like Snorlax. Snorlax is really great special defense, so it's the opposite here. So Snorlax is better at tanking physical hits than it should. So I thought this was a decent way to kind of do that. So obviously having a high special defense, but it also kind of works in a Pokemon's favor where if it's a Pokemon with bonkers high special defense, but not great attack score, so something like Mantine that has an absolutely insane special defense stat can now do damage because wisdom can be used for your spell attacks. So I thought it was a really interesting thing because it makes some Pokemon better than they should be, which I thought was really cool. So I got gens 1 and 2 plus all the evolutions that exist throughout time and space, all ready to rock. So all I need to do now is figure out type effectiveness, and moves, because those can't be the same because Pokemon types don't exist in D&D, but also weaknesses don't work the same way either. Crobat, let's find our little Crobat here. So Crobat, and once again, I tried to make these as balanced as I could. So Crobat's got 14 strength because, 90, I didn't, the way that I decided the stats, obviously if it is the stat that they're best at, then great. But when it came to a lot of Pokemon that are fast and have high attack, in D&D, you can use Dex to attack with. So, like Crobat, for example, attack is its second highest stat next to speed, but it doesn't necessarily need both. So I still put it to 14, so it still had a +2. It's still a decent strength, but you're not really going to use it all that much. But yeah, so 14 strength, 17 dexterity, 12 constitution, 11 intellect. I made the intellect, obviously its intellect is pretty low anyways, but I also made it lower because, it's weak to psychic and that's a magic damage. And then 14 special defense, and its AC is what? Its AC is 14. So, it's fast. You can easily get to 20 with this. If you're wearing armor, usually you can add a portion of your dexterity score to your AC. I think I'm going to make that a feat instead, since Pokemon aren't going to be wearing armor. So that way Pokemon like Crobat or Charizard or something like that aren't going to have a 20 AC just simply by existing. But if they invest, if they invest an ASI into a feat to add their dexterity modifier or a portion of their dexterity modifier to their AC, they can become a tanky Pokemon if they want to. So I think that would be a decent trade-off for that type of thing. But that's the Pokemons. That's the Pokemons. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm trying to think of what else. I mean, but this I just finished up with 1 and 2 today. It took me It took me probably 2 weeks. 14 sounds low. So when they're making, so Kim, when you make an attack in Dungeons and Dragons, if you're using a finesse weapon, so like a one-handed weapon, typically, you can roll your attack with either strength or with your dexterity. So Crobat, even though it only has a 14 strength, it doesn't have to use strength to see if it hits somebody. It can use its dex instead. So it can use the 17. So the 14 literally doesn't matter. I could have made this. I could have not put any points into this. That just wouldn't be fair because Crobat has good attack. Getting hit. A 14 in AC. Well, yeah, but a lot of tanky boys. Oh, no, 14 for AC. Okay, cool. Yeah, no, well, I mean, but Crobat's not tanky. But I mean, if we look at a tanky Pokemon, like if we look at like Onix, where are you, Onix? Oh, actually, Onix has got a decent. I had to put that strength somewhere, huh? That's a good point. But that's also why I might need to look into adding Dex to. So that's where balancing comes in, and I have to figure this out. I have to figure out if we need to add some portion of Dex to your AC, like you do in the games, automatic and Baldur's Gate, like right away, or do I make that a feat? Because if I look at like something like Charizard, is got a Charizard's way. I might need to redo Charizard. Yeah. But like Charizard, for example, only has also has an AC of 14, which makes sense. It has basically the same stats as defense status. It has literally the same defense status Crobat, I think. So Charizard also has that. So if I let you add your Dex modifier to that, and this is why I didn't do it automatically, because if you pick the Battle Mage, you automatically get to add +2 to your AC because it's as if your Pokemon's wearing a shield. So hey, what's going on, Kangaroo? What's up, buddy? So like you have 14, but you pick Battle Mage. So now you have 16. And then when you caught it, you decided to add 1 AC. So now you're at 17. And then now you can add your dexterity modifier and you're at 21. So that's why I wanted to keep it on the low side and kind of see what happens. Or maybe, like I said, make adding your dexterity modifier a feat. So you're sacrificing your ability to increase your stats to be harder to hit. So yes, you're harder to hit, but now you're not doing as much damage. So yeah, so that's something that obviously, once again, all I'm trying to do right now is get a good enough draft so I can try playing the game. Kangaroo, hello. Look at all the math I did. And look at all the things I wrote. Look at all these charts and examples and spell charts and this guy. Hold on. Where are these guys? And look at this guy. And look at that girl. Look at these things. Look at this displacer beast. Look at this displacer beast I hadn't shown anybody yet. Look at this crab. This potion crab. And now he's a globe of invulnerability crab. Look at these guys. It's a new era. It's a new era of spreadsheets. I mean, yeah, man. No, God, no. I didn't make any of this. I made none of this. Go watch the videos. No, I've been commissioning artists to make the Pokemon. So that's why I really need this to be successful so I can pay for it. Because I can't afford to make, 200 Fakemon. I can't afford that. But with viewers like you, welcome back, WatchBot. It's fine. My daughter had just gotten home. I had to go say hi before she went up for her bath. But yeah, man, we're talking about spreadsheets. Look at all these Pokemon numbers. Look at all these glorious things. Look at Alakazam. Can't afford one fake amount, not much help. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's expensive. It's expensive. You know, so hopefully these videos catch on. Hopefully, when I get the rules into a place where I'm comfortable, like trying to play test them and like stream a game, you know, and if that can pay for this, you know, then great. You know, that's the ideal. I love doing Nuzlocks, and I'm going to keep on doing at least one Nuzlocke run a month. But like I put up an Infinite Fusion video yesterday, and it got like nothing, like no views whatsoever. So whether it's Infinite Fusion or just my Nuzlocke in general, it's not hitting. It's not hitting the same way as it used to. So I'm hoping that this is a pivot that makes sense, because I love just looking at the art. You know, I love it. So if and even though my starter video only got a couple thousand views, it got more subscribers than any video I've posted since my first Pokemon Z video. So like, you know, it's a short video. It's not making a lot of money, but like, and it's not getting a lot of views, but the people that watch it really like it. So hopefully that keeps on growing. We'll see. I was thinking about that for when I start doing the stream for playtesting the rules, which I need more friends. I need more friends is really what it is. You know, people got like lives and kids and work. I need at least 3 players, and I only got 2 locked in. But telling somebody to dedicate 3 hours a week on a specific day at a specific time is I know difficult. I appreciate that, Kim. I appreciate that. I might need some of you guys, you know? We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, I want to start streaming that hopefully within the next month. But now that I have all these numbers and I have this general idea for all these classes and some of this progression stuff, I need to start figuring out moves, and I want to figure out types. So that's what I was getting to. So, thank you, Mabe. And Kim. Kim got the gift. Nice, dude. I appreciate you, Mabe. And welcome to the party, Kim. Welcome to the party for the faking my phone. I do monthly D&D sessions that last like 5 hours. Damn, dude. I used to be in a game. For years, I was in a game. But after my daughter was born, you know, we had a lot of stuff come up. So, you know, I eventually stopped partaking in that group. But yeah, no, I miss it, man. I miss it. But now you can milk post. What I'm trying to figure out as far as typing goes, I think I want a system that kind of mimics energy. So I would need to reflavor the D&D damage types / when we're making new spells anyways, because I need there to be some sort of affinity system, even though when this is all said and done, they're not going to be Pokemon anymore. They're going to be whatever this thing is. Bro, you don't know about milk posting? Kim. Kimmy. Oh yeah, I'm 100% making like an Almirage bunny that turns into a big old like Flemish giant, and it's gonna be my boy. Oh, that's awesome, dude. But I gotta let the dog in. Sorry. It's all right. Come on. Hey, you gotta stay here. You can't go upstairs. Stay. All right. But I need to come up with some sort of affinity system, because you still have to have these damage triangles or whatever, even though it's not D&D, because then why are you using one specific monster over another one? You need there to be a reason for people to swap out, you know, because if everybody is the same, aside from the 1 or 2 random weaknesses that it might have, then you're not playing. Like I said, there's no reason to swap out unless you run out of spell slots. So I need there to be some sort of affinity system. So I figured I would make it something similar to the Pokemon TCG, where I have, 8 to 10 affinities. And even if it doesn't necessarily fit perfectly into the box of what its Pokemon type would be, it could be close enough. So, like, for example, a lot of poison Pokemon end up being psychic or dark in the TCG. Before there was a dragon type, added to the TCG, they were normal. There's not an ice type, so they're water. There's not a flying type, so it's whatever their subtype is, or it's just classified as normal or colorless. There's no rock or ground. Those are all fighting. So I was thinking about doing it. Based off of the planes of existence. So D&D plane map. So I was thinking about doing it based off of the planes. So, you have the material plane. That's our normal type. Then you have the 4 elemental planes. So you have air, water, earth, and fire. You have the Shadowfell. You have the Feywild. You have the astral plane. And then maybe you have some of those middle ones. So, like when you go in between water and mud, you get swamp. So when you go in between earth and fire, you have lava. So, that would be like our ground, or our steel type, because it's like lava becomes, metal. When you go between air and fire, you get lightning. When you go between air and water, you get ice. So maybe that's where we get our types from. And then when you're casting a spell, so you're casting Thorn Whip. And yes, Thorn Whip does piercing damage, but it has a little marker indicating that it is a nature type move. It's a Feywild type move. So if your monster is weak to that type of ability, it does double damage or half damage or whatever. So I think that that's the easiest way to... I say easy, yes, because you're saying it's so complicated. But I think that that's probably the most effective way to incentivize people to have to swap out and to have to think about what's on their team. Because then at the end, it doesn't matter what your spells are. Your Raichu has Lightning Bolt, so you're gonna keep on using Raichu until you run out of Lightning Bolts. So I don't just want to rely on the 10 different magic types in D&D, because those also don't always necessarily work. Yeah, I could use cold for water. And I could use necrotic for poison, and I could use poison for... Oh, I guess I use poison for poison, but I could use poison for bug, and I could use poison for grass too, maybe. I could use radiant for fairy, or I could use, I can do stuff. Exactly, Kangaroo, yeah. So we need to have some sort of... Exactly like Fire Emblem. But I need to have something that's a little bit more robust, I think. So I think that I am basically replacing... Yes. So the way that I thought, so this is literally me laying in bed, just like not sleeping, thinking about this. So if we think about the elemental planes, they just go into a circle. So water is effective against fire. Fire is effective against, I don't know, air or whatever, because air feeds the flames. Air is effective against... Crap, I forgot what it was. But for the inner planes, I'm brain farting right now. I'm so sorry. But yeah, so Shadowfell and Feywild are effective against one another, because that can be kind of or positive and negative, whichever way I decide to go about it. Those two are effective against one another, because it's just, light and shadow. You get that whole saloon Char thing going on. They're effective to... They're weak to, and they're weak to one another. I'm rambling a lot. I apologize. Something like the astral plane is effective against stuff from the material plane, because, you can charm and because you can charm. Psychic stuff has a big effect on normal stuff, or beast creatures typically have low intelligence, and a lot of them in classic D&D would be from the material plane. So astral attacks are effective against them, but they're immune to ethereal attacks because ethereal stuff is like ghosts, and kind of like go with it that way. But the way I want to look at it is I need to figure out if really it's how I want to deal with the positive and negative energy planes. And I know that this is like the dorkiest thing I've ever said out loud in my life, because like I could just stick radiant damage in the Feywild for the hell of it, but it makes more sense for the Feywild to be our grass or nature type than it does for it to be our light type. The light and the darkness thing should really be coming from the negative and positive energy planes, because that's literally life and death. Assign affinity to moves the type from Pokemon and have that be the defining factor to turn super fighter can resist damage with. Yeah, I definitely agree with both you guys, but yeah, that was basically my plan, Mabe. So yeah, something like Firebolt obviously does fire damage. But yeah, something like a rock Pokemon might be weak to nature, whatever. A rock Pokemon is weak to grass. I do it like the TCG where everything has one weakness and one resistance to a specific type, but Onyx is also resistant to non-magical slashing, bludgeoning, piercing damage like a regular D&D monster would be. Thornwhip does piercing damage, but it has that grass symbol, so it overcomes that weakness it overcomes that resistance of Onyx because that affinity type trumps the damage. And I know that Thornwhip would be magical, so it wouldn't be resisted anyways, but you get my point. Cone of Cold, if I don't use the intermediary planes, so if I basically I just make air electric is really what it is, and I just don't have flying, just like the TCG doesn't have flying, which is entirely possible that I do that. I don't know, but let's say that I don't use the partial planes. So Cone of Cold does cold damage, but I code that water. So if a Pokemon is weak to water, it's weak to Cone of Cold. But also if it happens to be weak to cold damage for whatever reason, it's also weak to that. Or if it resists cold damage, then maybe it's neutral. It cancels it out. I don't know. But yeah, I need to figure out how I want to work that affinity system. I know that I want it to be based off of. Yeah, so exactly to both your guys' point. My plan is I want to make it more based on D&D, because there's as I was like looking up all these constant things. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. Yeah, I think it's this one. Nope, not this one. Well, it was a Kickstarter project. D&D Monster Trainer. Don't say there's none. There's like literally 30 days left in the project. There was a Kickstarter, because I've been looking all this stuff up online. The internet fed me a Kickstarter that looks really cool and has raised hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's a Dungeon in a Box. That's who made it. Dungeon in a Box has a new, basically, Pokemon trainer class coming out, apparently. Dungeon in a Box Monster Trainer. There we go. Monster Trainer's Handbook. So, super cool. It's basically these guys right here are living my dream. This is exactly what I want to make. But slightly different. But they're still using their affinity types that they're still using are basically Pokemon types. So that's why I was thinking of making it based off of the planes of existence to keep it D&D-ish. I'm still making it D&D. I'm not trying to make a different system to make it its own. But also with this system, it looks like you have one monster companion and you fight alongside it, which is different than what I want to do. I want the trainer and the Pokemon to have their separate roles, but this is more like you just get a cool monster. Exactly, maybe, yeah. And then, Shadowfell can be poison, and the Feywild can be grass, and then it's grass/bug for the Feywild. And then the positive and negative energy planes are a version of fairy and dark that are super effective against one another. And then the, astral psychic, ethereal's ghost, and then, dragons and flying Pokemon can be based off of whatever their secondary typing is. To summon this high level Voidmon, you need 2 bags of holding. Hey, Leon, what's going on? So, that's funny about it. It's like to overcome the power of this crazy Aetherkin, you must do the la la la. But I plan on doing my version of Eevee is going to be a chromatic dragon. So it starts off as a cute little, dragonling, a cute little wormling, and then it has 5 different evolutions based on the different chromatic dragon colors. So you'll have a fire one, an ice one, an electric one, a bug one, and a poison one. So Kim, so it's both. I mean, but you have a point. I am making a Pokedex because for the videos, because I'm doing the art in the style of Pokemon. And I feel like having them start off as Pokemon is going to entice more of my viewers, especially, or general Pokemon viewers, to want to check out what I'm doing because they like Pokemon. So they want to see cool Pokemon art. So I'm assigning them Pokemon types. But you're absolutely right. When it comes to D&D, it's what plane of existence are they from? That's what matters. But I need to come up with the affinity system to work with Pokemon types, because to test the game system, I'm using Pokemon. So that's why I need this affinity system to be Pokemon and not Pokemon at the same time. So I guess I assign a Pokemon a plane. Yeah. But yeah, no, but that's also another thing, maybe, because then, yeah, do I open up to the upper and lower planes? So, like, I don't need, like the plane of order. Is that where metal Pokemon, is that where steel Pokemon come from? Because they're all those little clockwork dudes. Are they all just monodrones? Every steel Pokemon is a monodrone. Yeah, the plane is the source of their power. So yeah, I definitely. But yeah, Bahamut. Yeah, so like the Feywild would be like grass, fairy, and maybe bug. Or probably grass and fairy. Then the Shadowfell can be like poison and bug. We can get some like Shatterkai kind of elvy stuff in there. I know that the Shatterkai aren't drow, but they're differently skinned. They're the other evil elf, so they can get assigned the drow stuff. Positive and negative energy planes are light and dark. They are effective against one another. So radiant and shadow. I mean, I guess would be like the types maybe. 2 types per plane is balanced and simple that way. But I could also do it where if I'm just using, once again, looking at the Pokemon, if I'm looking at the Pokemon TCG as an example for how I want to do this affinity stuff, ice and water are both water energy, but an ice Pokemon is weak to fire because even though it's using water energy and doing water moves, it is ice. So it's weak to fire, even though it's from the elemental plane of water. So, like, I don't need to have 18 types. I probably need 8 to 12 types. And I can just kind of... So, like, that also opens up another layer of strategy where somebody throws out a monster and that it's from the material plane, but not every Pokemon, Aetherkin, whatever, from the material plane are all weak to stuff from the astral plane. Just most of them are. So there's still that layer of you having to figure out, because I can't really do dual types. So it's like, yeah, Charizard could be from fire or air, but he's from fire. So he's actually weak to air, or he's weak to fire or water rather, you know? I don't know. Yes. Oh yeah. Shadow Card. Yeah, they literally are Shadow Elves. Yes. Um, the D&D monster that is immortal and strong can be only defeated by putting to sleep. Maybe the Tarrasque. I don't know, but I definitely want to make a Tarrasque. It's definitely gonna be like a ground grass happy little dinosaur that turns into a giant, horrible monster. Um, I mean that could be it too. Yeah, that's a good point, Bahamut. Yeah, because it's because then I don't know, because it's how many of these do I want? Because I don't know if you just popped in or if you just started talking. But my original idea was cool. I have the 4 elemental planes, and then there's another 4 planes that, the intermediary ones, like ice and electric and mud, steam. Like there are all these things that kind of exist, lava. They all exist within those 4 at the places where they cross over. So do I want those to be additional types, or do I just want, it's still from the water plane, but this one from the water plane happens to be weak to, fire because it is close to the air side, so it's more icy. Oh, okay, all right. No, you did. I'm so sorry, dude. I am all over the place. I'm not used to just talking this much without gameplay. I'm so sorry. um, well, yeah. So in the D&D multiverse, the way that it works is in the areas where fire and air bleed into each other, that makes electricity. Fossil trainer is a necromancer. And just like where air and water meet each other, that makes ice. Fire and earth meet each other, that makes lava. So that's kind of where, and that's also where the philosophy behind like the bending stuff from Avatar kind of comes from as well. Um, but yeah, I definitely want to base it off of planes, and I know definitively I want at least the 4 elemental planes, the 3 inner planes, and the astral plane. I know definitively I want those. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. So but just like we've been saying, maybe just like the TCG. So every single one of these monsters has one resistance and one weakness to another affinity type. But they might also have additional, not weaknesses, but additional resistances based off of some subcategory. So like Charizard, for example, because in Pokemon it's fire flying. Maybe it is resistant to thunder damage. I'm just throwing this out there because thunder damage would be flying, and I know flying doesn't resist flying, but let's pretend it does for a second. It's weak to water. It's weak to the water affinity, but it has a resistance to thunder damage. Or like Blastoise has a, it resists fire. And they obviously, I think in most cases they'll resist themselves too. But it's weak to the plane of air, or it's weak to the Feywild because it's weak to nature, and it's resistant to earth, but it also resists bludgeoning damage because it's a big old turtle. Yeah. Black market trainer should be a random encounter, something hard to find. What are you buying? What are you selling? Well, of course, you have to have your Your shady traders. So that depends. So either a dragon needs to be its own thing, or a dragon is going to be based off of whatever its, you know, chromatic weak, you know, so like you know, like a red or brass dragon would be weak to water because they're fire. You know, something like that. You know, a blue or white, no, not white, a blue dragon or a silver dragon would be weak to earth because, you know, yeah, they still have their one weakness, but they get to be resistant to a bunch of stuff. You know, so kind of that whole thing. 1 to 2 dragons per realm. This is Dungeons and Dragons, not Dungeons and 1 to 2 dragons per realm. All right. I already have my Cobalt Dragon. Thank you very much. Yeah, they'll have resistances to certain things. But yeah, so now that Pokemon and gyms. Oh, where's some of my dudes here? Look at this dude. Look at this dude. Look at this abjuration crab. I'm sorry, but this is peak design right here. This Pokemon right here was why I decided to make a Dungeons and Dragons region instead of a Rhode Island or New England region, because I wanted a crab, and I kept on thinking, wouldn't it be funny if a crab accidentally had a globe of invulnerability on its back? And then I literally could not stop thinking about that. So that birthed this entire project. Somebody, I totally missed who. I'm so sorry. I think it was Zach. You asked if I needed sprites done for these. So right now I'm commissioning artists to make these, but the only way I'm going to be able to do them at the rate that I want to do them, obviously, is you know, if I can get some more support on the videos,
or from viewers like you.
but probably the videos. So yeah. So I'm commissioning artists. I commissioned 3 so far. But yeah, and it's fun, and I love this stuff. Oh yeah, here's my Armor of the Ancients Paladin. There's our Oath of the Ancients Paladin. He a rock with a shield stuck to his head, and then he turns into a golem. What else we got here? Oh yeah, here we go. Here's our gelatinous cube. He's a happy little potion. I wanted to turn a gelatinous cube into flubber, basically, so we did that. So he's coming out of his potion, and then he's still happy. He doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't know the horrors and the atrocities he's committing. He has no idea what he's done. He's just so damn happy about it. He doesn't know. He doesn't know what he did. He didn't know what he did. He got no idea. Who else is there? Oh, our kobold, goblin. Oh yeah, our little bard grasshopper. We got this guy now. He got flute for his legs. Little flute legs. Oh, my axe beak. Here we go. Here's our basic bird right here. Here's our murder chocobo. He no thoughts, head empty. But yeah. I literally just said I wanted to the artist. He's I was like, all right, cool. So I want a murder chocobo. And he did that. You know, they're more turkey-ish, which I think makes sense because they're aggressive. But yeah, here's my axe beak. I like him. He's a good fella. He's a good fella. We got our grasshopper bard. We got our goblin. We got our kobold. I still love this. This is like, I can't with that. I can't with how happy he is. He doesn't know. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's trying so hard, but there's so many skeletons in here. Yeah, Sprig Shield for Knight, and then we got our Abjuration Crab. Oh yeah, a little Warforged. So yeah, so I took a combination of the Warforged and the Armor Artificer. So yeah, so this little fella is gonna evolve into either this little like generator looking Pokemon or this big burly boy. So The way that I'm thinking is like these itty bitty dudes were probably in ancient Etheria, and they were like little like helpers or whatever. You know, like they did like little robot things, and then when Pokemon started popping up, somehow they gained sentience, and now they're used as generators. Because there's not obviously, you know, you can't produce electricity anymore. So kind of like how Voltorb and Electrode are used to power random things, these little dudes are used to power them instead. And if they absorb enough energy, they can evolve into one of these fellas. That's my general idea for that. Oh yeah, and then we got them. Then our Displacer Beast, our little Venus Fly Murderer. Got our Mind Flare. The rest of these guys are in the. They're all in the videos. They're all in the videos. But I'm very happy with all of them so far. It's been like I've had to give very little. Oh yeah, but yeah, they all. I mean, right now it's a Megastone. Obviously, it won't be a Megastone forever, but because it can't be Pokemon forever. But this is the idea. Like I said, same thing with the Pokeballs. It can't be a Pokeball. I'll make it like a Monster Rancher like disc thing. I think. So instead of throwing balls, you'll like you have your little Pokemon traps, your little like combination Ghostbuster trap slash Monster Rancher disc you can throw out. But right now it's just like a rustic looking Pokeball with the unknown C on it. And then we got our Megastone there. So yeah. Generator one would be like a cannon. I mean, yeah, that'd be a good idea. So yeah, and this is also like I could add more stuff, you know, later on. But well, the original idea was I wanted it to be a Warforged. But then I expanded upon that. I was like, well, I could also make it the Armorer. So I want to make an Artillerist, obviously. So that'll be like a little cannon boy. I am honestly thinking about if I didn't already have a Hermit Crab with a cannon on his back, like a Steel Fire cannon Hermit Crab was gonna be my thing. But I think it'll just be the Arcane Turret. So I'll probably make it like a little dude again, like a little spider droid or something. But this was originally supposed to just be like a Warforged, but it turned into an Armorer. So obviously the Infiltrator armor, which is still a little bit big, but whatever. And then the oh god, what's it called? The Guardian armor. Yeah, that's all of our dudes. That's all our dudes. I really love the Beholder. I really think that the Spectator, like this thing, I'd buy. Man, I'm going to the Ren Fair in a couple weeks. I'm like, should I print out a bunch of stickers and just like give these little loot around? This guy right here. This is my favorite. He's my favorite. I didn't think that it would be. I did not. I thought that because the first sketch that he sent back to me was the Kobold. And I was just like, this is the best Pokemon that's ever existed. This is all I've ever wanted. I want this. It's a dumb little lizard. He's the best. I love Kobolds. I love how dumb they are. Kabow. I love him. I love Kobolds. And then when he sent me this, I was like, yes, exactly. It's still not a dragon. Don't tell them that, though. They turned into a Drake. They did not turn into a dragon. But please don't tell them. Please don't tell them. They think they're dragons. But yeah, and then this little guy. But yeah, no, this Beholder, the little Spectator, and I love this one too. I love that it looks like he has a beard. You know, obviously much more sinister looking. I like that a shadow's being cast on by his eye stalks. But this little guy's just so happy. Look at him. I could put him on a shirt. I'd wear that shirt. But I love him. I love him so much. It's my happy little Specky. I know that's not what he's called, but if I nicknamed him, it would be Specky. Kangaroo, thank you so much for hanging out, man. I really appreciate it. I'm going to wrap up soon, too, just because my wife will be home from work. And I've been rambling for almost 2 hours about this. Thank you for coming in, though. It makes me very happy to see you. He's got to get Mac back in here, because I think she would really appreciate the... I think she'd really appreciate the art projects. But yeah, these are Pokemon designs. or Aetherkin Designs. Where's Justin? I miss him. I don't know. He commented on last week when I put up my starter video. He commented, I hope it's not a Nuzlocke. And I'm like, it's an 8-minute video that says D&D region starters. It's not a Nuzlocke. Oh, no. Sorry, no. It was when I was going to stream 2 weeks ago when I streamed the first version of this. For the stream, he's like, I hope you're not Nuzlocke in this. And I said, it's not a Nuzlocke, it's a lot of spreadsheets. And then he never responded. It's just like, all right. And I don't think he was here. So I was like, sorry. I was like, it's not a Nuzlocke. We're going to be looking at lots of spreadsheets. We're going to be doing some game theory in right here. Loves Pokemon, hates Nuzlocks. I mean, you can do this. I would do art, but I can only really do pixel art and still working on it. However, I've done a few designs for Infinite Fusion. Oh my God, that's Washbot. Thank you for your contributions to Pokemon Infinite Fusion, the fan game with over 221,000 different Pokemon combinations. I really appreciate that. I love all our Infinite Fusion folks. It's really great. I mean, I'll gladly take sprites. No, I'm not gonna make you do any work. But no, like in my ideal world, yeah, man. No, I have some of them posted on there. I'll definitely post the other ones I've been working on, like 1,000%. Like the base stat total conversion. I know that's not there. I don't think this Pokemon Progress one's there, but I need to tidy that up a little bit. I need to figure out type. So my goal for the end of the week is to figure out the type chart. And the more that I'm talking with all of you guys, it's making me think that, less is more. So I'm going to have the 4 core elemental planes. Then we have the material plane, the Shadowfell, and the Feywild. Of the astral plane, that's 8. And then maybe positive and negative is 10. And maybe ethereal for an 11th. And then I think I'm just going to call it at that. And so, yeah, so the, electric and flying can both come from the airplane or the airplane or, it depends on what that Pokemon type is weak. So like an electric Pokemon or a monster getting their electric powers from the plane of air would be vulnerable to the earth plane because they're on the ground. But a flying Pokemon from the airplane wouldn't be. Or maybe they would be because you throw a rock at a bird because it's still a rock. So yeah, so rock beats air, earth beats air. Even though erosion exists, but I'll pretend like it doesn't. I guess erosion could also be water, though. I'll figure it out. But I think that that's where I'm going to start with. Those 11. And see if I can make it work with those 11. Because I have to fit a square peg in a round hole for the sake of playtesting with Pokemon. Obviously, once it's only the monsters, I decide where they come from. I decide their stats and their types and et cetera and so on. But it's a little bit harder when I need to... That's also why I'm only doing the first 2 generations. Well, number one, it took me days to just literally days to map out all of these individually. It took me like 3 or 4 days. It took me probably 10 hours to stat out and double check my work for the first 2 gens. So I'm good for now. I might do Gen 3, but at least to start playing 260 Pokemon is once I include evolutions is more than enough. No, that's a good point. That's a good point, Kim. But it's like I can't do the decks. I feel like I can't do the decks without the Pokemon because when I go to stream my Etheria D&D campaign, that's totally not Pokemon, please, it's not Pokemon. No one's going to have any, nobody who doesn't already watch me isn't going to click on it. But if I'm doing a Pokemon D&D game, that might get people who like D&D and or Pokemon to come watch the stream and support the idea. So, and at the end of the day, I am a Pokemon. I know I'm trying to make my own game, but I am a Pokemon channel. So I feel like I would be absolutely ridiculous to not try to incorporate Pokemon. With that being said, I'm not going to convert. Oh, and that's the last thing I want to complain about. I'm not going to convert. Where is it? I'm not going to convert Pokemon moves specifically into D&D moves because I tried to do that. And I was like, I can't possibly do this. It's taking way too long. I will give ChatGPT a list of every Pokemon move. I will tell it exactly what I want, and then I will take the ones that work, and I'll use those ones. And I gave it so many parameters. And this is, once again, thank goodness it's not stealing people's thank goodness it's not stealing people's jobs. But for like a week, it was like processing. I'm doing it. I'm 55% complete with doing this thing. I'm totally doing it. It's going to be great. I'm totally doing it. It's all done. Do you want the file? Yes, I want the file. I don't got the file. What do you mean you don't got the file? You said it was done. It's not done. It'll be done in an hour. 3 more days goes by. All right, it's all done. It spits a document out of me that has literally 6 things on it. It had like tackle, scratch, flamethrower, and ice beam on it. I was like, this isn't every move. It was like, yes, it is. I'm like, no, it's not. How many moves did I give you? You gave me generations 1 through 6, which is approximately 550 moves. I was like, this document has 7 on it. I understand you're upset. I'm so very sorry. I'll try to do better. I'm like, I'm not mad. You're a robot. I'm trying to understand why you think it's done. Oh, it's not done. It'll be done tomorrow. So I gave, and then again, and it didn't. It's like, I have converted 500 moves in my data bank. I have 500 moves. Would you like it? Yes. I don't got it. I don't got it. Give me an example of one of the moves. And then it listed out like 15 moves that it made. I was like, all right, so you made these moves. Yes. Can you put them on a spreadsheet? No. Can you put them all in this chat? No. What move do you want to see? And I'm like, I'm done with this. Fuck this. So, I'll just make the moves myself. I'll try to use existing D&D moves as much as humanly possible, and then just, add an affinity to them based on whatever this affinity system we do is. And then, like something, mostly the physical spells, like the physical attacks. I'll just have to, do myself, which isn't that big of a deal. No, that's a good point. That's a good point, Kim. But it was just like when I asked it to help me with the point buy stuff. I was like, all right, cool. Can you do this group of like 50 Pokemon while I work on some other ones? I was like, yeah, totally. I got you. And then it was like, Venusaur can have a total point buy total of 45. I have used 63 points. Do you like these stats? And it's just like all 20s. I'm like, no, what are you doing? So then I redid it. It's like, I've used 12. I'm like, you could come in the middle. Just like you're almost, it's like, I felt like it was like an incompetent, because I've been a manager for a long time. And I felt like I was talking to an employee that knew they were bad at their job, but like they were totally doing stuff, man. I was totally working on that. But what do you got? Well, I mean, I was working on it, but there's some stuff going on. Like, I felt like I was talking to somebody that I was trying to coach, and it was just hilarious. It was a very human. I even said, I was like, you're acting very human right now. And I was like, I'm sorry. I'm like, I'm not. This is hilarious. But anywho, enough complaining about AI. The only thing I use it for is helping me come up with Pokemon names, because I'm bad at names. I'm very bad at names. And it's not very good at names either. But it gives me ideas. I would appreciate that. I was like because most of these dudes, with the exception of the Oath of the Ancient Golem. So I know that this is Sprig Shield and Verdinite. Like these two I know I'm good with. These two I know that I want that to be their names. I have no idea what I'm naming any of these other little dudes that I haven't made up for videos yet. Like, I don't know. I think Hackling will be the first stage of the Axe Peak, or Hacklet, something like that. I know Hack. I know I want Hack or Hatchet to be in his name. But like our little flute bug, no clue. This little goo boy, this little flubber murderer, I have no idea. This guy, jeez, I don't know. These dudes, I don't know. Displacer Beast, I don't know. I think that's the only ones I have left. So yeah, I have like another 1 or 2 videos worth. So it'll take me through the end of the month. Hatchling Hatchet combo was great. Yeah. Potioneer.
Potus, the bottled ooze Pokemon. The goo Pokemon. Where's Leon? Leon, you still in here? You want to talk about some goop? Did you even see the goop Pokemon? Your catchphrase. There, it exists now. Inside the belly of this beast.
Umberlings. Ooh, okay. Yeah, see, that's a good starting point. Oh, but
I'm going to go do bedtime.
Chop Stretch. Maeve, I love that name, actually. That's really funny. Gooplet, Fluber. Well, I'm going to go help out with bedtime because I have not seen my daughter since like 9 o'clock this morning. She was with her grandma. She's with her KK, and I got to I want to hang out with her for a few minutes before she goes to bed. So my wife is working again tomorrow night, so I might stream again. But I think unless I make some like serious progress on some of these things, I'll actually play like a game. There's already a table RPG book for Pokemon to create and play. So I know there's Tabletop United and Pokeroll and Tabletop Adventures. There was Pokemon 5e, which got like a cease and desist from Wizards of the Coast, which is why if I ever, gave this information out to the general public, it would have to not be actual Pokemon. It would have to be my little creations. Because I don't want Wizards to get mad at me. But I figured as long as if I'm just playing it and streaming it, then that's probably good enough. Aetherkin, yes, Kim, thank you. Crass Howardy. But yeah, no, there are a lot of Pokemon systems out there, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I'm going to try to figure out typing. Yeah, maybe I'll do that. If I can get that done tonight, that'd be ideal. But I expect that I'll have it in a place that I'm comfortable with for the end of the week. And then I can start building moves, and then, that'll probably be a week or two. So then by the end of the month, I can do, my session 0, my session 1, stream it, maybe co-stream it on Twitch. Although I got to look at my affiliate. I haven't streamed on Twitch in like 3 years. I have to look at my affiliate agreement and see if I'm allowed to do that. And then hopefully people like this and start doing. Hand Cannon Crab sounds dope. Absolutely. Just like and I know Clowitzer already exists, but like, I want it to be different than Clowitzer. I like Clowitzer a lot. Actually, Clowitzer is one of my favorite. I really like Gen 6 Pokemon. I love Clowitzer. Clowitzer is an excellent Pokemon. From a design perspective, it's not very good in general. But anywho, all right, I'm going for real now. I'll catch all you guys and gals maybe tomorrow. If I stream tomorrow, I'll probably play an actual game instead of this, because I don't think I'll have any new work done on this that's worth talking about for 2 hours. But anyway, I'll catch y'all on the flip flop. See ya.